lifestyle creator on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, covering topics such as fake niceness, covering topics such as overthinking, over-explaining, covering topics such as needing permission to be yourself, which who needs permission to be yourself? No one, right? So today we are doing two extended lives. One of them is why crisis reveals who truly loves you. And the other one is why some children fear relationship loss so deeply. And so if you've been through a crisis where you felt like you were alone, or if you felt any number of reactions and you felt like you were alone and by yourself and were kind of sad and went through a period of solitary kind of just being by yourself, where you wanted to just be left alone, you've dealt through a lot of things, then this is for you. Tonight I want to talk about something difficult but deeply human, and that is how crisis reveals relationships. Because one thing I've noticed in life is this: when something serious happens, people show you who they are. Whether that's good, whether that's bad, whether that's a mix in the middle, they oftentimes show you how they feel about you, and it reveals it through their actions. Whether their actions are kind or whether their actions are negative, whether their actions are reactionary or whether they are constructive and they're trying to help and see how you're doing and encourage you. A little encouragement goes a long way, especially when you're dealing with a family member or when you're dealing with something that is just weighing heavy on your shoulders, where you're sad and you've been crying a lot and you don't want to burden others. And a lot of people, myself included, have trouble asking for help, because I grew up in an environment where people dealt with their own stuff. They didn't talk about it. They hid a lot of their negative emotions because they didn't want to burden others. But ultimately, we as human beings need other people. We need people to walk alongside us. We need people to give us encouragement. We need people to be there for us. Welcome. My name is Buffy. For those of you who haven't met me, today we're doing two lives. We're doing why crisis reveals who truly loves you. And the second part is why some children fear relationship loss so deeply. Thank you for the like. I appreciate it. Tonight I want to talk about something difficult but deeply human. Hey, how are you? 99 nights, noob 01. Because one thing I have noticed in life is this: when something serious happens, maybe a death in your family, maybe a divorce, or some major life event in your life, you need someone. And people show you who they are, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's in between. They show you who they are in your moments of crisis when you need something or someone to lift you up. That's what's shown, right? Not always through grand speeches, sometimes through very quiet gestures that if you blink, you might miss, but they are still worthwhile, right? A hug, a prayer, a message, a meal, a sweatshirt dropped off at your house, a person simply moving toward you instead of away from you, right? Because it's like, oh, that person's sad. I don't deal with sadness. I can't do that. But the people that are there for you are the people that are going to be there for you. They're showing you their value in you and your value in them. And that it's a situation and a relationship that is important and is worth holding on to, right? And I think moments of crisis strip away performance. You just are in the bare bones. Like they see you suffering. They want to comfort you. They want to give you love. They want to give you encouragement. And that is the one thing that is needed when people are struggling, right? And I also think because when someone is hurting deeply, most people instinctively reveal their true emotional posture. Do they lean in or do they disappear? Because that tells you all you need to know. Who is going to be there at midnight when you're bawling your eyes out and you don't know where to turn? Do they become uncomfortable or do they become compassionate? And ultimately, you know what kind of people that you want around you, right? You want the compassionate type. You want the people who are going to look after you, comfort you, because they are going to need you one day down the line. And that's why friendships have to be mutual. They have to be giving. They have to be sharing. They have to be, it can't be one-sided. It has to be a mutual exchange. And that's why friendships are so important. And the other thing is, I think one of the most healing things in life is realizing I am not alone. And I will say this past week has been difficult for me. I do have a sick family member, and I have just felt alone, felt sad and alone. And if you've been there, you know that. You know about things like that. Not because the pain disappears, not because everything is magically fixed, but because people choose to stand beside you inside the pain. And that is a gift, a rare gift, ultimately, because a lot of people run away from that. It's almost like a commitment. And I think sometimes emotionally sensitive people become terrified of burdening others. I know I do. Anyone have any issues with burdening others? Say me if you like, or raise your hand, or any number of things that you want. So they expect abandonment before it happens. I know I do. I mean, I've had some trauma. I've dealt with some of that. So I get that. It's like, why would somebody want to be with me at my worst? Why do I deserve people being around me when I feel the way that I do? I don't want to burden them. I don't want to upset them. I don't want to put them in a bad mood or make them feel bad. I love them. I don't want to hurt them. And here I am involving them in my junk. But there's people that are true friends that want to do that. You know, so that's kind of a thing that you could deal with for sure. And so I think emotionally sensitive people, we talked about this, but then life surprises them. You meet people who actually care. You meet people who want to meet you where you are and give you the love and give you the encouragement that you need, right? Because when you are struggling with, potential loss of a family member, it can be extremely difficult to deal with. It can be heart-wrenching. It can be hard to wrap your head around it. I mean, maybe you're crying a lot. Maybe you're not able to sleep. All sorts of fun symptoms, if you've been through it, right? Someone hugs you, someone checks on you, someone remembers you, someone quietly supports you all along. I mean, those are gifts. Those are gifts, Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Jameson. That doesn't sound like a very nice thing. I'm sorry that you feel that way. Maybe she'll, give her some space. Maybe she'll end up kind of working. Maybe she's working through something. Maybe you can actually come together or maybe there's a better opportunity. You never really know what's going to happen there. But I understand. I think we've all been there, like someone and love someone so much. And then something like that happens. I had a long distance relationship like that once, and it was really difficult. Took me a little bit to get over. But you know what? Hey, better circumstances, someone better suited for you, maybe. You know what I mean? We'll be thinking about you. I'm sorry that happened to you. But you're right. If it doesn't go both ways, it's not, you have to try to find someone who's better for you because you deserve better, right? Welcome, CD Chips Latham. And so someone remembers you or someone quietly supports you all along, and suddenly you realize maybe I was more loved than I realized. And I think that is a quiet gift, a gift that keeps on giving. Somebody showing up, somebody showing you that you matter to them, because a lot of people feel like they don't matter. Just kind of the ending, because I had, it was just difficult because this person wasn't really for me and I didn't see it at the time. But when I finally saw it, like it all kind of added up. I mean, he was kind of a brat, to be honest with you. And so it never would have worked. Very hypersensitive, touchy kind of person. Nothing I did was right for him. So, some people are just like that for whatever reason. And as an empathetic person myself, it's really difficult to not take that personally, but you tend to, if you're an empathetic person, you tend to attract people who are more flighty and who are more demanding. That's what I found, at least. So if you're an empathetic person, watch out. That's just been my experience. But I tend to be an empathetic person and a person who tries to make other people feel comfortable and happy and things like that. That's just who I am. So part 2, guys, ready? Why some children fear relationship loss so deeply. One thing I have learned as both a mother and someone deeply interested in psychology is that children often experience relationships in all or nothing ways, especially sensitive children. I do have sensitive children. I'm a sensitive person. Empathetic person, kind of read vibes and things like that, especially children who are highly emotionally perceptive. A small shift in tone, adult tension, less contact, awkwardness, or conflict, and suddenly the child thinks the friendship is over. Not because it actually is, but because uncertainty feels emotionally unsafe. Many people emotionally protect themselves by assuming rejection before rejection happens. If this is you, then you likely recognize this. I know I'm that type of person. Because if they prepare for loss early, maybe it hurts less. It doesn't. It just prolongs the hurt. But relationships are often more resilient than anxious minds believe. Friendships can survive misunderstanding, space, and awkwardness, stress, and emotional seasons. And I think emotionally intelligent parenting sometimes means helping children understand that. Not every hard moment means the relationship is gone. Sometimes relationships simply need time, reassurance, and evidence of continued care. So I want to say thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day. And I hope that you will come back and see me again soon. I tend to, like I said, go live on YouTube around 12:30 p.m. Eastern. So hope you have a great day, and thank you for tuning in, and I appreciate your support. Have a great day. Bye-bye.